All right. We were talking about Spanish and like there was supposed to be a time
So, if AC is 26, how do we figure out how long X is?
Oh, just kidding.
2x plus 5 plus 4x equals 26.
Yeah. 4 plus 4x minus 3 equals 26. Combine like terms. We use 6x minus 9. Oh yeah, plus 2. Can we use notes on the final?
Oh yeah.
So then you're gonna do it. Or you want to do a review sheet? Oh yeah. I know you're saying more. That is 4. Like x equals 4.
No, this is good enough. I'll put this out on the internet. Out on Google Classroom, yeah. I'll put a link to this video. It'll be fine. You're a smart girl. You can handle it. All right. Shh. Mia, be quiet. All right. What types of angles are 1 and 8?
Exterior.
Alternate exterior angles. What types of angles are 4 and 5? Alternate interior angles. 3 and 7.
Supplementary. No. Congruent.
They're corresponding. 3 and 7 are corresponding. What are 4 and 6? Same side interior. So 1 and 8 are alternate exterior. 4 and 5 are alternate interior. 3 and 7 are corresponding. 4 and 6 are same side interior. No, well, that's kind of vocab that you have to know, but there's not a vocab section. Okay? Wheel dryer has a vocab section. I do not. All right. What is the distance from 2,6 to 412? Distance formula. You take and subtract the 2 x's and square it. And then you subtract the 2 y's and square it. So it's 2 squared plus 6 squared, which is 4 plus 36, which is the square root of 40. Then on your calculator, round it. Okay? Parallel lines lie on the same what? And the answer is plane. They lie on the same plane. They're on the same flat surface, but they do not intersect. Okay, how do we figure out what x is here? 8x minus 2 plus 10x plus 2 equals 180. So 18x equals 180. So x equals 10. So this angle is 78 and this angle is 102. What's the slope of that line? Rise over run. It rises 1 for every 2 it goes over. 1 over 2. Okay. So here's a line. Y equals 1/3 x plus 6. Okay? We want the equation of the perpendicular line that goes to the point 2, 6. So if it's perpendicular, what's the slope of the perpendicular line going to be? -3, because it's the opposite reciprocal of 1/3. So this is a slope. Here's a point. We could put it in point slope form, or we could go y equals mx plus b and just solve for b. So what's the y value of the point? 6. The slope is? What's the x value of the point? 2 plus b. So 6 equals -6 plus b. How do we get b alone? add 6. So y equals negative 3x plus 12. That is perpendicular and goes through the point 2, 6. Now, some of these are multiple choice, so it'll have answers on there, so you can just kind of plug in numbers to see which ones work on there. How do we figure out what x is here? 6x plus 3x plus 8 plus 7x plus 12 equals 180. 6x and 3x make 9x plus 7x is 16x plus 20 equals 180. So 16x equals 160, x equals 10. So this angle up here is 38. This angle down here is 82. And this angle up there is 60. What is that? Is that a translation, rotation, or reflection? Translation. A rotation is a turn, a reflection is a flip. Let's say you're supposed to translate something for -2, and right now the point is at -2, 5. What quadrant will it be in after you translate it? What quadrant will it be in? So you start at -2, 5. You're going to add to it for -2. So then you get 2, 3. What quadrant is 2, 3 in? It's in quadrant number 1. Number 10. How do we find what angle X is? No. Each of these angles are 54.
And then you gotta subtract 185 divide that by 2 because those are 72.
180 minus 54 is 126, so it's 63.
Woo! So close. 10 off. Or 11, 9 off.
Yeah.
10 off. One of them. I was a math teacher and someone answered that, I'd be like, well,
I have 3 for you.
Wait, did you say there's 24 questions on this thing?
29.
If you're 10 points off or you're 5 points off, correct? Out of 57. Correct. Except for it's got to be the same, like if you have a negative number, it's positive. I'd be a great math teacher. Everyone would love that. Why are you doing it for us?
I already said what to do.
You did it.
I did.
You're doing it because no one else is listening. The first page I got side angle side.
Wrong.
That's what I said.
No, not hypotenuse leg. No.
Hypotenuse leg.
I already said that.
It is hypotenuse leg. Because we know they share this side. So since they share this side, that's a leg we know. Then we know the hypotenuse of each, and they're in right triangles. If this was marked, what would it be? Then it would be side angle side if the bottom was marked. Okay? Then, just a second. If this was congruent to this, then what would it be? Angle side angle. If this was marked, what would it be? Angle, angle, side.
Wait, there's no angle, angle.
There's not an angle, angle, angle on the list, no.
Side angle is not.
Hello.
Angle. Don't make it side angle.
Yep, that's fine. We're just reviewing. And so I will give you the test and you can start it today with them. All right, bye.
The booty thing, you know? I didn't get it. I was so confused.
X is 5. X is 5.
I never got that. That's like
that in
when we
my
were recording
head.
our video.
All right. What is X in this drawing? So you take 4x plus 2 equals 2x plus 8.
Why did everyone say 5?
Because that's the answer for what is X.
No, it isn't.
Dummy. Stupid.
I did it in my head, so I
It's
don't know.
4x plus 2 and 2x plus 8.
Oh, it's
Your mom. It's 3. Dummy.
Illy said 5 too.
I said 5 because you said 5. It's too late. You guys are just both dumb.
So x equals 3. Looking at that picture, what is AB? Is it a median? It goes from the vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side. Yes, it is a median. Because it's a midpoint on this side. Which is, because these two are equal, so it's equal. Is it an angle bisector? Yes. Is it an altitude? Yes, because it goes from the vertex to the perpendicular to the opposite side. Is it a perpendicular bisector? Yes. That's all 4 of those. Which side is the shortest? Which side is the medium length side? Which side is the longest? First, you got to find the other angle. How would I find the other angle, Haley? Huh?
Pay attention. Those are angles on sides. So
How would I find the other angle?
subtract from 180. Add them together and subtract.
Add them together.
It's 66. So then your shortest side will be AB. It goes AB.
No, it goes.
It goes AB.
AC.
AB to AC to BC.
AB is the shortest. AC is the second shortest. BC is the longest. Okay. That angle with the 2x minus 6 in, okay? What's the smallest that angle can be? What's the smallest any angle can be? 0. It's got to be bigger than 0. So if that angle has to be bigger than 0, what is the smallest x can be? What's the smallest that angle can be?
1.
Or 0. But what's the smallest x can be?
1.
No, x would make if x is 1, it'd make a negative number.
-1.
Look at the equation. What's the smallest x could be?
3.
2x equals 6, x would equal 3. So the smallest x can be is 3. Because if you put a 3 in there, it makes the angle 0. Okay, what's the biggest the angle can be? See how this side is smaller than this side. Okay, so the angle has to be less than 30. So 2x minus 6 has to be less than 30. So 2x is less than 36 divided by 2. X has to be less than. So x is somewhere, it was a test question. X is somewhere in between 3 and 18. Yes, you have. It was on a test.
Okay, I'm being honest. I have no idea what you said. Like, any idea. Like, what was that? I don't remember.
All right. X has to be bigger than 3 because if it's 3, it makes this angle 0. And you can't have a 0-degree angle. you set 2x plus 6 equal to 0. So if you set it equal to 0, because it can't be 0, okay, and you solve, x equals 3. So the smallest it could be is just bigger than 3. So 3 has to be less than what x is. And then, since this is 30 and it's opposite of 22, and this is opposite of 20, this is smaller than this because it's opposite. So you set this equal to the, or basically less than this, because this has to be less than this, and solve that to find the biggest number. If a triangle has sides of 30 and 40, what's the possible lengths of the third side? It has to be longer than how much? It has to be longer than 10 and shorter than 70. Because you subtract them to find what the shortest side has to be longer than, and you add them to find what the longest side has to be shorter than. All right. What's x?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides minus 2 times 180. Subtract all the others. Oh! I have 40. Let me know that.
So then if you go 112 plus 136 plus 92 plus 98, you get 8, carry the 1. You get 3, carry the 2. You get 438.
540 minus 438.
Is 102. X equals 102. You making fun of my drawing, Hunsley? Okay.
I don't like how you call her Hunsley. I'm just saying.
I don't like how any of the teachers call me Hunsley.
We've had so many Hunsleys through here and so many more coming, right?
No,
Just one?
Yeah.
Just Cannon?
Yeah.
You can't call him by
No one calls me Hubble. I'm glad though.
My mom said so many. I don't know. Yeah.
All right. So we have a regular 20-gon. A 20-gon has how many sides? 20. What's the measure of each interior angle of a 20-gon? 20 minus 2 times 180, which is 18 times 180. I don't know what 18 times 180 is yet. Nobody's told me. Okay, so that's what all the angles add up to. Since it's regular, all of them are equal. So we divide by 20. And we get 162 degrees. Each of the angles would be. Because they add up to 3240. And since there are 20 angles and they're all equal to each other, we just straight divide their angle sum by how many angles there are. What is, oh shoot, I didn't erase. What is the perimeter of this?
6.7. I don't know.
All right. To figure this out, we do the Pythagorean theorem. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. C squared equals 3 squared plus 4 squared. C squared equals 9 plus 16. C squared equals 26. 25. Take the square root, C equals 5. So each of these are 5. Okay? So C squared equals A squared plus B squared. C squared equals 3 squared plus 6 squared. C squared equals 9 plus 36. C squared equals 45. Take the square root. C equals 6.7. So 6.7 plus 6.7 is? 13.4 plus 10 is 14.4 or 23.4. Okay, we have an isosceles trapezoid here. We want to know how big angle ABC is.
Well, 16 plus 58 is all the way across.
Is that 16? It doesn't matter what that is. Not right now.
It's 100.
Are we arguing?
Yeah, it's 100. Trying to figure out ABC.
How big is angle ABC? 100. Because 58 and 22 add up to 80. And so if this angle down here adds up to 80, this whole angle up here adds up to 100. Because they're same side interior angles, and same side interior angles of parallel lines are supplementary. Okay? Then, BE. How long is BE? Do the diagonals bisect each other? No. In a parallelogram they do, in a trapezoid they do not. So BE would be how long? 16. They cut each other equally. Yeah, AE and BE are the same because it's isosceles. And so this one is 20. If this is a parallelogram, what is the value of x? 4x equals 2x plus 10. Parallelograms, the diagonals do bisect each other. Subtract 2x. So 2x equals 10, so x equals 5. How long is AC? Because each part is 20. A rectangle. What is true about the diagonals of a rectangle? Do they bisect opposite angles? No, that's a rhombus that bisects opposite angles. Are they congruent? Yes, diagonals are congruent in a rectangle. Are they perpendicular? No, they're not perpendicular. All right, so that's some of the basics. That's the basics of it. There's a few I didn't put on the review because I think you can handle those. Okay. This video will be posted on Classroom.